Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we have a very special review impressions of a knife that I've had for a while that I've rather enjoyed, and I've actually changed it a bit. When I first got this in, it had a Jade G10, which is a plain G10 scale on here, and I actually ordered this MentonBoxx Frag Pattern Titanium scale, and that's what's on here now. Very similar to what Rick Hinderer does. This is a Rick Hinderer Nonflipper XM-18 knife that we're going to go through our typical review with. The designer is going to be Rick Hinderer, obviously, since it's a Rick Hinderer design. And the knife, it's a Rick Hinderer design, and the knife is manufactured by Rick Hinderer. It is made in the USA. He's the designer. He's the manufacturer of the knives. Their shop they do here in the USA, which is really cool. And the knife name is the XM-18. This is the non-flipper version. Notice no flipper here tab. It's only got thumb studs, and it works quite well. So you can choke up on there where you have to finger choil, and the action on this thing is phenomenal. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the materials. So the material is titanium scales, frame lock right here, titanium clip. Typically, it had the Jade G10 scale on here when I bought it, and I upgraded this to this titanium scale. Now you can get the Rick Hinderer titanium scales. They have a very unique design. Looks very similar to the etching that's on the G10, but I went ahead and went for this frag pattern. I want it to be a little bit different, and I know from some of you people who are Rick Hinderer collectors, you'll be like, this is worth less if it's not a Rick Hinderer scale, and I get that, but I like this, and I don't plan on selling this knife. This plans to be in my collection, and I plan to enjoy it. So, you know, I wanted to have something that would be fun. And that to me was fun. I like the texture. So very cool knife as far as I was concerned. It is titanium. You can look in here. There is milling. Yeah, there is significant milling if you look in here. At least on, yeah, on this side. On this side where the frame lock is, I mean, there's not. Wait, well, hold on. I could be wrong. Yeah, I am absolutely wrong. It's hard to see from that side. So, no. I am right. Okay, forgive me. I'm looking at the wrong side. Yes, this is not milled out over here because of the frame lock, but this is. And so that does do quite a bit of weight relief, which is nice. It does have the jimping up here, jimping back here, which is great for a clip hold like that or a hold like that. So it's meant to be, you know, grip your hand pretty well. So again, it is a frame lock. There's a steel bar insert with an over travel stop. You have a titanium clip, a little over travel bar lock here as well, which is cool. This could be tip up, tip down. Now it can't be left or right hand. It is tip up or tip down right hand only. They do make lefties of these. Notice this little texture here. It's nice and rounded out, nothing sharp. Everything is there's a lot of details here. There's no little sharp edges that would normally get in your way, which I really like. The blade steel on this is S45VN, that's CPM, crucible metal, S45VN, which is a step up from the S35VN. This is supposed to be a little more corrosion resistant, which is nice than the S35VN. This has the tri-way lock, which means right now there's caged ceramic ball bearings in there. You could do Teflon washers or the phosphor bronze washers, and I had both of those, but I kept the caged ceramic ball bearings in there. Now I've actually upgraded this to the Skiff washers, which has made a wonderful difference. It's very, very smooth with Skiff washers. Beautiful, beautiful action with that. Now the steel washers that came included were okay, but Skiff's always is a little bit nicer. A lot of custom knife makers, matter of fact, are ordering Skiff washers and putting them into their knives just because of the quality. They just really are phenomenal. So there you go. It does have standoffs, 3 standoffs in the back, which is nice. It does have the typical screws. Now, what's interesting, these are the Phillips head screwdriver on both of these, right? And then this is not a Torx screwdriver, but that's a hex bit screwdriver. I think it's like a 1/16 or 1/8, whatever. And then on this side, these are all, are they hex bit as well? I think, yeah, these are all hex bit screws as well. And then this is a flathead screwdriver. And over here you have what's, I believe it's called a span screwdriver, or excuse me, a span head screwdriver. And I actually have that in my parts that I use. Now you can order something special from Rick Hinderer that can take it apart. It's a little expensive, but you can just get a span head one, and there's a standard size for that. All right, how does it close? It closes really well. You clear that. There's no, the detent that you have to clear is about right there. and it catches right there on your finger. So once you clear that, it goes all the way down. There is a slight double clutch if you don't get it right here, and you clear the clutch about right there, which is pretty far. But fortunately, with the nice cutout on the lock bar with the jimping on here, it's easy to catch it down way past that, so you're not getting that double clutch, which is nice. So the action works really well. And you get over here on this left side, it flips pretty well as long as there's no pressure on the lock bar. Put the finger up here, and it flips really nicely as well. And reverse flicks really nicely. Now, ironically enough, if you've got a little traction, your fingers aren't too dry, you can't do a middle finger reverse flick. So you get a little bonus flick here. So I can do that, right? Left-handed, it's a little more challenging. I can do it, especially when it's dry like it is with the really cold weather. It's like 13 degrees out, so the house is dry. Makes it a little more difficult when you do that, but it still works. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. The jimping is really nice on back here. Works really well for that. You can easily use the finger choil and choke up here. So that works really nice for a nice cut, and also for a pinch grip. This is a drop point blade. I like this a lot. Very thick, robust. It's been rounded, like almost like a crown spine up here. It's really, really nice. No super sharp edge, but it does come to a very sharp edge. The S45 blade seal sharpens up really nice. I love this stone wash, which looks really great, and it's got a very smooth finish to it. So it's like a polished stone wash. I like that a lot. Typical things, you see the Hinderer on here, which is, you know, nice. I mean, especially if you like Hinderer, right? So, and I do. I like this particular knife a lot. This is, I was never a big fan of a lot of the Hinderers, but this one works, and it works really well. It fits really well in my hand, this XM-18. I like that. So, it is a liner lock, frame lock that works really well. The engagement is about 50% right there. In there, solid, no blade play. No pivot lash. Now I did put Skiff washers in there, so if there was pivot lash, usually that'll fix it. And then the detent's nice and clicky. Ready? Nice clicky, no detent lash, so that's good. And let's listen to that detent one more time. Ready? Nice and clicky. All right. So let's go ahead and do a little weights on this here and see what this little guy weighs, especially with the titanium scales that I put on here. All right, let's see. We are at 5.6 ounces. So 5.6 ounces with a titanium, very milled out titanium scale. That's not bad. 5.6 ounces is pretty respectable, I think. So let's measure the length of this knife all the way from tip to the end. So we're looking at a knife that is, go right to the tip to the end. Look at a knife that's about 8 1/4 inches long. The handle, if you go from here, is about 4 1/8 of an inch. If you do the choke up position, you have a full 5 inches. So it's nice and roomy. So if you've got large hands like I do, plenty of room right here. In the choke up position, you've got plenty of room for extra large, double extra, triple extra large hands for sure. And there's no hot spot with that clip. It's nice and round. You squeeze down on it. It's really comfortable. Now, they do make aftermarket pocket clips. Lynch makes some clips, and I've been thinking about putting one on there. Makes it a deep pocket carry clip, but so far this has been pretty nice, right? So, definitely very comfortable in hand. All right, so let's look at the blade. If you measure from the tip to the base of the handle, we're about 3 1/2 inches. Overall cutting length is going to be about 3 and maybe 1/8 of an inch. So 3 1/8 of an inch. All right, so that is the overall cutting. Let's look at the blade stock thickness on this guy. All right, so blade stock thickness here, we're looking at 164 thousandths of an inch, so 0.164. It's a pretty robust blade. It's not thin. And just for giggles, I'm going to measure it up at the very tip here and see if that makes any difference. Now 165 thousandths of an inch, so 0.164. So it's definitely a thicker blade. It's not super thin. Very robust, good, solid, strong tips. Great for poking into dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, fertilizer, mulch, and stuff for your yard, right? Cases of water. This is going to be really nice. It cuts through, and it strops up really nicely and very sharply, even for being such a thin knife. It does come down to a nice sharp edge, but it's not a super thin knife. It's not a super, they call this a slicer, but it's not super thin, but it does slice, and it does work well, and it's nice. It's got a beautiful texture, so it cuts through pretty well, really well. And the edge is nice with the S45 VN. Like I said, I stropped this up really, really nicely. All right, so what's the category of this one? Well, The knife itself is $425, all right? And then if you add the scales, which were about $275, that makes it $625. Then it's about $675. So this puts it into the high-end category, or I should say the custom category, the mid-tech, and that's really what it is. It's a mid-tech custom category. So that's kind of where, you know, Rick Hinderer works. 425 without the scale is fine, and even with the Rick Hinderer scale, it still would have been over $600, which most people like to put that titanium scale on there. That's always usually something people hunt down. And if you find it, then it's something worth putting on there. I like the MentonBoxx scales. These are very nice. They really are. The frag pattern gives you some wonderful texture, just like the Rick Hinderer scales. Don't get me wrong. To me, it's just a matter of aesthetics. I like the way the frag pattern looks. And personally, it's something different, you know? I feel like if I'm going to do Hinderer, I don't want to be just a copycat, right? And I like this particular design, and I really like the frag pattern on this knife. I think it looks really, really nice. It is stone washed all the way around, so I think that's really complimentary. All right. One thing that's interesting, when you do put scales on here, you have to keep in mind, don't put any Loctite on these things. That's a real pain in the butt, and that almost screwed me up, right? Don't Loctite these guys. You can put some Loctite in the pivot to keep it in play, keep it nice and centered. It does lock in really well, and the action is phenomenal. So, is this EDC? Absolutely EDC. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do. I use this. This is a user knife for me. But then again, every knife I have in my collection, I use. And there's some nicer knives that I have no problem using. I have a McNeese Mac 2, 3.5. That is MagnaCut. I use that one. I've used and abused that one, and that's just a great user knife, and I feel like that's what it's meant to be. I think the same about the Rick Hinderer knives. I really feel like they're user knives. Now, this could be a collection piece, a safe queen for a lot of people. And so, yeah, you definitely could be a collection piece, no question. For me, it is sort of like a collection user piece. I'm not going to go out and chop wood with it, though I feel like I could, right? But it's nice enough that I would have a fifth pocket knife at times for it, right? And so it's a beautiful knife, and I would not have any problem using it, but at the same time, I would try to take care of it. So hard use, yeah, definitely hard use for a frame lock as much as you possibly can. I mean, keep in mind, it is a frame lock. You know, you still have a thin bar right there. That's about where most of the pressure goes. But definitely could be hard use. I wouldn't chop wood. I wouldn't break logs with that. I'd use a fixed blade or an axe for that, obviously. So there you go. So overall, on the design, I like the design. I really do. So, I mean, you can take a nice look at this beautiful design. You see the nice horse logo and everything in the thumb stud, right? And the thumb studs are the blade stop, right? They act as the blade stop, just in case you didn't know that. And I love the frag pattern on there. I love the design, the clip, everything works. Even with that being only so deep, it still works well. Though I have considered getting a deep pocket carry clip. Now, Lynch makes one, and I think MX Gear makes one. Lynch one is a deeper milled one that actually goes into here, and then they make a more expensive one. That's about this thickness, maybe a little thinner than that, but about that. So that's pretty cool. The design is nice. I like the blade shape. This is very functional, good for cutting. It does allow for pinch grip, really nice. You can use that tip grip, that tip there to work, a particular cut if you need it to. It's very comfortable. The thumb studs are out of the cutting path, which is really great. You can't choke up, which is really nice. And I love the pattern of the spine here, and it's very robust for like hard work and things like that. So I like that. Opening and closing. It flips really nicely with the thumb studs. Works both ways, right? So flips really nicely, both hands, which I think works really great, And then you have the bonus flick. Put your middle finger in here if your hands are not too dry. And let's see here, just make this not so dry. Yeah, so it works really well when your hands are not dry. Very reliable. Just like, even with the left-handed here, works pretty reliable when your hands are not dry. So that's nice. I like that. Opening closing is really good. So fidget factor out of 1 to 10. Well, the thumb studs, it's intended to be a thumb stud only. There's no flipper, which is fine by me on this particular case. And it does have the little bonus flick there to me. So I'm going to give this it's going to give it a 4. Definitely a solid 4. It might be a 4.5, but probably a 4.25. But a solid 4. It's not barely a 4, it's a solid 4. Because you have two really well working thumb studs that flip well. You got a little extra, fidget bonus going on there. So that's what gets it up to a 4. There's nothing else, which is okay for this design. I like it like that. And it doesn't have to have everything. And this guides your finger right into the right channel where you need to be. So that works really well for the, for that fidget factor scale. So out of the fidgety goodness, out of 100%. So to me, this deploys flawlessly. It really does. And ironically, if you had the flipper, in which I had a Jurassic, the flipper is the detent is much stronger and much more uncomfortable. But when you're a non-flipper like this, it works. Oops, sorry, works really well. And it's always nice to have the. Again, my finger's getting dry because it's like 13 degrees out, and so the house is super dry, right? But that fidget factor is really nice. So I'm going to give that 100%. Yeah, absolutely 100%. To me, that's 100% fidgety goodness. I don't find any fault in any way it deploys. I don't find a fault in the way it closes. The action is beautiful, closes really well. Great access to the lock bar, easy, doesn't tire you out. That you don't really run into that double clutch with the way the cutout is and where that's part of the tang of the blade, if you will. Maybe I don't know where the flipper might have been, but right there it works really nicely. So that catches really well. Clears the clutch or the detent ball, and so the opening closing is fantastic. So 100% on the fidgety goodness, absolutely. What are my overall thoughts on this knife? Do I recommend it? Absolutely, recommend it 100%. I recommend it as a higher end knife. I recommend it as a knife. I think this is a great knife. I'm not a big Rick Hinderer fan, right? I mean, there's a few of them I like. I had a Jurassic, wasn't a fan of it. The flipper was ridiculous. But get the non-flipper. It is really quite something. Now, I did try the Maximus, and they only make that every few years. And I had a chance to get one. I sure wish I had jumped on it. But that is a really nice knife. It is definitely a dagger-looking knife, but it's really good. So that might be the other one that I think I could potentially very much like. But right now, the non-flipper one, I like this. And this is going to stay in my collection. Really do enjoy this knife. I think it's absolutely enjoyable, and some people are not big fans and some people are super fans, and either way that's fine, but I enjoy this knife and I think it's great. I'm going to highly recommend it, and I think it's something worth considering. Now, if you love flippers, absolutely love flippers, you can get their flippers. They're kind of obnoxious to me. You may enjoy it. I don't know, a lot of people seem to like them, but the non-flipper to me is just absolutely spot on. That's a really redeeming factor there. So yeah, that's my overall thoughts. Hey, what are your thoughts? Any questions, any ideas? Do you disagree? Do you agree? I mean, I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the channel and the videos really helps out the channel, allows the channel to grow, allows the channel to do more things, and ultimately allows the channel to do things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to every one of you guys who watch the videos, who like the videos, who subscribe. I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you to every one of you. And yeah, that's awesome. If you haven't already, maybe hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content like this video. Also, to all my channel members out there, I want to say a big shout out, big thank you to you guys. We're almost at 100 channel members. I can't believe it, and I'm honored. I am so honored by you guys, and I appreciate you. Thank you. If you haven't already, maybe you're on the fence, you're thinking, hey, I might want to be a channel member, check the description down below. There's a link for it. There's 3 different levels, entry, medium, and a high tier. And I appreciate every one of you guys, whatever tier you want to be in. Just thank you for that. Just so you know, you don't have to be a channel member. I put the channel member thing out there because a lot of people wanted to support the channel, and I'm so humbled by that, and I so appreciate that. But don't feel like you have to be a channel member. I just want you to know that. But I'm honored if you are. And if you want to join in and support the channel and become a part of this, I so welcome you and appreciate you. Yeah, definitely. I really do. But I also appreciate you just being, one who subscribes, watches the videos, and, joins the live streams and all that stuff. That is appreciated as well. But it's a small way for me to say thank you to my channel members. I do a once a month giveaway. Well, we just had one here in January, and we'll be having one in February. So, hey, it's my way to say thank you. And I also give channel stickers out and some different things like that. So exclusive content polls and some other things. So just want you to know that. That's my way to say thank you. All right. Hey, and if you haven't already, one other thing, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week.